You can't turn the Titanic overnight. And I'm not saying everyone has a sinking ship. That's not what I mean by the analogy. Hell, you can't turn the battleship very quickly. You can't turn the destroyer very quickly. You can't turn the 747 very quickly. It takes a while to turn this great big life of yours into the direction where you want to make sure you end up happy. And I think there's certain areas that you have to go into the locker room and take a hard look at.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Chris Harder Show, where today I'm grateful for every single one of you that said, hell yes, I'm coming on your first ever found trip. Yes, that's what I'm calling these new series of trips where entrepreneurs want to meet other entrepreneurs and have life-changing conversations that change the trajectory of their life forever. Well, this thing is mostly sold out. I can put probably another person on this trip. We're keeping them small, intimate, and just for high performer, aspirational entrepreneurs and executives, people that want to be in the right circle and the right vibe and have the right conversations and change the trajectory of their life forever. And so for everyone that said yes so quickly and so easily, thank you. Thank you for validating this business model. Thank you for saying, yep, I want to go on trips with other entrepreneurs and other executives and have the conversations I'm not having on my own. Yep, I kind of want this time out to reassess things or to get different perspective, to see the world differently. Guys, I am going to do a lot of these trips coming up. But if you want to join the first ever, there is a spot left. We can put another person on it. Hit pause right now and text me if you have my number, or just DM me on Instagram saying, hey, heard about the trip on the podcast, would love to go. It's 4 days sneaking up the coast of Southern California, first class accommodations, beautiful experiences, beach bonfires, an entire day. Matter of fact, a couple of days of just fun activities. When's the last time you just took a time out to have fun activities? And I call it highly curated but slow paced. It's what every single entrepreneur needs. Trust me, as indicated by the reaction. Everyone has said, hell yes, I'm in. So seriously, hit pause, shoot me a quick message, Chris W. Harder on Instagram, or shoot me a text if you have my number. Would love to round this thing out with like the perfect last person that really needs this type of perspective changer. And that kind of leads into what I wanted to talk to you about in today's episode. I want to kind of ask your opinion. I want to kind of get your feedback. And I really mean it. Like, DM me at the end of this thing some of your feedback on this concept I've been thinking about and talking about a lot lately about a halftime, like a life's halftime, especially for entrepreneurs and high performers. And what I mean by that is I feel like your 20s are pure experimentation. Who am I? What do I like? What do I not like? And then your 30s is the results from that experimentation. Hey, I'm starting to learn who I am. I'm starting to really dial in what I like and what I don't like and what I want for life and what I don't want for life. And then your 40s become the halftime. All right, now that you've got all this data and now that you know what the score is, what halftime adjustments are you going to make in order to have the best second half of the game that you have ever played? And how do you go out winning? That's what the halftime, in my opinion, is all about. The best sports teams in the world, no matter what the score is, whether they're winning, whether they're losing, whether it's a tie, they go in at halftime and they make significant halftime adjustments to put themselves in the best possible position to win the game. And I just feel like that's the stage I'm in right now. And I really think this halftime hits differently for everybody. I'm going to tell you when it started hitting for me, because halftime can actually be a period of several years. Now, I believe that your very late 30s into your very early 50s is your halftime. 38, 39, all of your 40s, 51, 52, 53. I believe that's your halftime. That's when you go into the locker room and you have to get really serious about asking yourself tough questions. You have to get really serious about facing the score and the stats. And you have to get really serious about making some game time adjustments. Where do you have to catch up? What do you have to stop doing? Where do you have to take some risks? Where do you have to stop taking risks? Where do you have to add some things into the game plan? This is not an optional thing, guys. I think sometimes people accidentally cruise through life's halftime, but I'm pretty certain they end up with a score that they don't like at the end of the game. And that's just the phase I'm in. And I think my halftime as a high-performing human really started when my dad passed away unexpectedly in 2020. I was 42 years old. I was tired. I was burnt out. COVID had just rocked our whole world and turned everything upside down for all of us. And then my dad passed away of an unexpected heart attack at the age of 72 on June 4th, 2020. And that sent me into the locker room quick. That made me start rethinking everything in life's halftime. Now, as I record this, I'm 48. So we're talking, I've had 6 years of a halftime. That's why I say this is a very important period of time. This is not something you do for 60 days or 6 months. I've been doing it for 6 years. And I feel like I'm coming out of the locker room right now. I feel like I'm pretty close to hearing the second half buzzer start with my game plan and having everything dialed in to what adjustments do I want to make for life. But the reason I share my personal example is so that you can understand the magnitude of what goes into halftime, of how long it can actually last, because you can't turn the Titanic overnight. And I'm not saying everyone has a sinking ship. That's not what I mean by the analogy. Hell, you can't turn the battleship very quickly. You can't turn the destroyer very quickly. You can't turn the 747 very quickly. It takes a while to turn this great big life of yours into the direction where you want to make sure you end up happy. And I think there's certain areas that you have to go into the locker room and take a hard look at. I think the first one is your friends and family. The next one is your finances. The one after that is your fun. I'm not kidding. When's the last time you went into the locker room, quote unquote, and said, am I having fun? Am I happy? And then the next one is your must-dos and your must-sees. In the second half of your life, what are the must-dos and the must-sees? And the last one is the vibe. Man, right down to the haircut you have as you grow old. Right down to the neighborhood you live in. Right down to the music you like, the cars that you want to drive. What's the vibe that you want the second half of your life to feel like? So friends and family, then finances, then fun, then your must-dos and your must-sees, and your vibe. So let's kind of take a look at each one of those a little bit if you actually wanted to start analyzing this. Your friends and family. What do I mean by this? Well, are you participating in your relationships in the way that you want to, or do you need to make some halftime adjustments? Do you have the right people in your life for you to go into the second half absolutely blissfully, or do you have to make some adjustments? You know, it was during this halftime that I discovered, hey, I'm kind of lonely. Like, I've got a million friends all over the country and a million clients and a million everything, and a lot of people that I really, really care about. But at the same time, I was really lonely. And so I had to make some adjustments. Who's going to be on my roster that I'm going to get intentionally close to? Who am I going to start jumping on airplanes and going to see more in order to foster that relationship? Who am I going to pour into and make sure I'm proactively there for so that they're there for me in the second half of life? Like, who is my starting lineup when I come out of the locker room? I think that's what I've really been adjusting, what I've really been analyzing when it comes to loneliness and making sure that I've got the right people for fun and experience in my life, is who's going to be my starting 5 or my starting 11 or my starting 9 when I come out of this locker room at halftime. Okay, hey, real quick, I'm going to interrupt, but it's for a really good reason. Let me ask you this. How are you really feeling right now about your social media content game? And this is an important question. If I had to ask myself, I'm asking because my social media game sucked the past couple of years. I mean, it was terrible. Every time I tried to hire it out, it didn't work. Their content was totally not me. And then when I would take it back over myself, it just never got done. That was until I finally found a team that stopped confusing social media content, just putting stuff up, with actual real social media strategy. The reality is this: social media matters if you're building your business, and you can't ignore it even if you want to. Trust me, I tried. Consumers are spending over $1 trillion with a T through social media every single year. Not scrolling, buying and hiring people, choosing who they trust by voting with their dollar. And it's not going to you, it's going to somebody else like me instead. That's why I want to introduce you to my personal CMO, Melissa Duglecki, and her team at the Brand Lab. I swear by her and her team. Melissa is somebody that both Lori and I have trusted with our marketing for a long time now. She's worked on our launches and our social media strategy, our copywriting, landing pages, my brand, and much more. And in my world, I don't trust effort or intention. I'm sorry, effort and intention are not good enough. I only trust results. And we're finally getting them with Melissa and her team. It feels so freaking good to see my social media go up on a consistent basis and actually like what they're putting up. So here is the deal. I've got a gift for you, but only for a few of you. I've asked Melissa to offer some of my listeners a limited number of spots to get a fully customized social media strategy, just like I got, covering your messaging, your positioning, bio, and content strategy. Now, when you use code Chris at chrisharder.me/social, that's chrisharder.me/social, you get $1,000 off as a thank you from me to you for listening. So go to chrisharder.me, that's .me/social, use code Chris and get $1,000 off as a thank you. If your social media results suck right now, like mine did, or if it feels overwhelming, trust me, just try this. The missing piece isn't more effort. That's what I was doing. It didn't work. It was the right strategy and the right team. Go to chrisharder.me/social, get $1,000 off your custom social media strategy as a thank you from me to you. So that's what I mean by friends and family. Are you investing enough time into your family? I've got an aging mother. You already heard that my father passed unexpectedly. I've got an aging mother, and I'm flying back more and more to see her and more to spend time with her. And making her, come out to California here when I'm in California more and more, and being way more intentional about these mother-son little mini trips that I take her on, and sometimes with my brother. Because I know, sadly and grimly, the time is limited and it's slipping by. So I want my second half to be one of making as many memories and having as many conversations as humanly possible with my mom. And same with Lori's parents. And so that's what I mean by analyzing your friends and family during this halftime. What about your finances? It's funny. I was having a conversation with Lori not too long ago about some of the most terrible investments we have ever made. Now, we have made a mountain of money, and we have burnt a small mountain of money that we wish we could get back. Now, are we in a good spot? Yes. But I want to be in a way better spot for my second half. I want to have not a worry in the world for me and for my loved ones. So we're making halftime adjustments to make sure that we can go into the second half absolutely abundant as hell. What does that mean right now? Where do we have to change some of our earnings right now? Where do we have to participate or change some of our investments going forward? What do we have to do coming out of the locker room to make sure that we have a financial game plan that is absolutely going to win and then some, not just for us, but for our loved ones that are going to count on us? So what finances do you have to take a look at? And I really suggest getting a professional, by the way. We have a family office that helps us with this. If you don't have one, I highly recommend Phil and Trish Calandra. They own True Wealth. There's nobody more caring and better on the planet for your financial halftime. If you're late 30s, been successful, 40s or early 50s, they are your financial halftime plan. I'm not kidding. Reach out to me if you want an intro. I just literally could not advocate for people any better than the two of them and True Wealth. So that's what I mean by your financial halftime. What about your fun? How are you going to analyze your fun during this halftime? Like me, I added in pickleball, real serious pickleball, about a year and a half ago. And it is one of the most joyful things in my life. I know that probably sounds funny and dumb and stupid as just a little nerdy game, but my God, I'm meeting the coolest people. I've got something so fun to look forward to 2, 3 times a week. Our Friday night pickleball gang out there is an absolute party. And that has brought so much more fun and escape and joy into my life. And that's going to be something that I'm out there playing against 70-year-olds that beat me. So I know I can bring that into the second half of my game, quote unquote, in order to have more fun. But what else? I want to see more of this country. That's why I put together the Found Trips, by the way. Yes, it's about connecting entrepreneurs that want to meet other entrepreneurs and have life-changing conversations that change the trajectory of their life through highly experiential, beautiful experiences. It's every bit of that. But it's also for me. I want to see more of the country and have good conversations with high performers. I want to go on more trips with other like-minded individuals and meet new people. I'm craving it. So I'm just building what I wish existed. A very highly curated but relaxed schedule of seeing beautiful things with beautiful minds. That's it. But that came out of this life's halftime. How do I want to serve people? How do I want to get them together? And how can I combine that with having more fun? Well, I'm getting out of the classroom, quote unquote, when it comes to masterminds and stuff, and getting into the Sprinter van, getting into the airplane, getting into the, whatever it might be on these trips, getting into the beautiful resort. So things like intentional pickleball a few times a week with the right people, and things like shifting to these new found trips. That's what I mean by analyzing the fun in your life. Are you having fun the way that you make money? A lot of these combine, right? We just talked about finances, and fun is the next one. That's no coincidence. Are you having fun in the way that you make money? If not, can you change it? My answer was, hell yes, I can change it, and I'm going to. And then remember, the fourth category was your must-dos and must-sees. Like, I must spend a month over in Asia. I haven't been there yet. I've been to Europe 100 times. I could plan your trip to Europe, no problem. Asia, haven't had a chance to see Japan and China and some of the places I really want to spend some good time. So that's one of my must-dos and must-sees. What are your must-dos and must-sees? You literally have to make a list, and then you have to plan, because what you don't plan for won't happen. It's great to desire going and seeing something. It's great to wish to go and see something. It's another to actually plan for it, put it on a calendar, back into it financially if you have to, save up for it if you have to, start doing your planning early if you have to. What gets planned gets done. What's just a wish remains kind of just a wish. So what are your must-dos and must-sees? I'll give you another one. This one's so nerdy, but while I still have mom here and mobile and healthy, I must go with her back to her old stomping grounds in Wilmington, North Carolina, where her and my dad had the best years of their life. This is pre-kids. This was their heyday, water skiing every day, going out dancing on weekends. I want her to give me a firsthand tour of everywhere that mom and dad went, the bars, the dance clubs, the beach that they went to, all of those things. I want to see that through their eyes and have her tell me the stories. That's a must-do and a must-see for me. So I've got this list of must-dos and must-sees. And I think it's a really important list for you to put together when you're in life's halftime as well. And then the vibe. Right down to the vibe. Like, all of a sudden I've got long hair. I love it. It's my second time in my life that I've had long hair. I just push it back. I don't have to care about it. It's very easy. It's very beach, casual, coastal. And that is the vibe that I want going forward in the second half of my life. I want to be beachy. I want it to be chill. I want to travel. I want it to be experiential. And I want to be with the people that I love and care for and have the best conversations in the world. And I want music 24/7. Most of the time when you're at our house here, you'll realize we have music on 24/7 in the background, all the speakers throughout the house. Music sets a tone for me. Hell, when Lori and I go on our walks, I wear meta glasses that have the little speakers in them, and I have music on. While we're on the walks talking, it's just real quiet, but it's like scoring a movie. It sets the vibe. It sets the tone. I know what cars I want to drive. I've already got my vintage 69 Jaguar XKE convertible. I'm going to go dust that thing off out of storage and get it out here to California because I'm just not getting back to Arizona that much to use it. I got that Sprinter van sitting in storage. Going to dust that thing off and use it more. I know what cars I want to acquire going forward because I love automobiles. Maybe yours is something different. Maybe your vibe has something to do with art. Maybe your vibe has something to do with dance and energy. But you need to analyze what the vibe, what the soundtrack, what the aesthetics are of your second half when you come out of that locker room. And so I share all this really just to kind of say, hey, here's where I'm at 48 years old. And here's some of the adjustments that I'm making. And I've realized that we all need to go through this high performers halftime. I'm so passionate about guiding the late 30-somethings and the 40-somethings and the early 50-somethings through their halftime that I'm literally thinking about maybe changing the show. And this is where I'd love your opinion. Maybe changing the show to just speak to those individuals, high performers that are in their late 30s to their early 50s, and helping them take a good look at their halftime. What needs to change? What needs to continue? How do you strategize and game plan to make sure that happens? So I've got the network for it. I've got the knowledge for it. And I sure love doing it for myself. Hell, one of my favorite things in the whole wide world to do are these dream life strategy sessions. They take 60 to 90 minutes where we go through your current budget. We figure out what's missing. We help build your new budget so that you know exactly what you have to earn in order to have your dream life. Sometimes it's more than you think. A lot of times it's less than you think. You're like, wait a minute, why am I trying to make $1 million when I only need 600,000? Or why am I trying to make 500,000 when all I need to do is make 300,000? It's eye-opening. It's like my favorite things to do because it sets the course in a tangible way on how you can achieve your actual dream life. What are the numbers needed? And then how do we back into it? By the way, you can just DM me if you want one of those things as well. DM me, text me. I love doing those things. One of the best 90 minutes of your life you'll ever spend, I promise you. But I would love your opinion. Should I really start to shift into this concept, talking about this halftime for high performers, this halftime for late 30-somethings into early 50-somethings? Really deep diving into your business and finances, your friends and family, your fun, your must-dos and must-sees, and what vibe you want to set for your life. I'm excited to hear your opinion. In the meantime, thanks for listening. And if you guys want to join us on our very first Found trip, then reach out, DM, or text me. Can't wait to see who the last person is going to be. Thanks for listening. Love and appreciate you. Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.